Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be providing a longer term market update for Binance Coin. We'll talk about the BNB Bitcoin ratio and some things happening on this chart with the RSI, some support levels, and the longer term uptrend. We're also going to talk about the BNB USD pair, look at some moving averages, some key ranges, and my longer term outlook with this altcoin. Now, over the last few days, we have seen a lot of fear and general sentiment towards Binance Coin surrounding rumors about Binance Exchange and perhaps maybe some things going on over there. I'm really not here to argue the validity of those claims. I really just want to focus on the technical analysis side of things. So to begin, I really do want to start off on the BNB Bitcoin ratio. I really do think this is an important chart to pay attention to because it gives you a great idea of the opportunity cost associated with Binance Coin, where it's showing us how it is performing with respect to Bitcoin. And in general, this has been in a longer term uptrend. And if I just zoom out here, you can see that quite clearly, where we've basically been trending up with higher highs and higher lows ever since retesting and flipping the middle of this range in June as support. So since that time frame, we've really just seen a breakout of this major consolidation zone, new all-time highs, and then that continuation to the upside. However, over the last few weeks, we have seen some things unfold with these two peaks, this first peak being in November, the beginning of November, and then the second peak being at the end of November. Now, during this time frame, we also saw the RSI have two peaks as well. But on this one, we saw the RSI peak in the beginning of November, and then that second move up in the end of November was actually a lower high. And this is something called bearish divergence, where you have the indicator, the momentum oscillator, doing one thing different than the price action, which is the closing price that was increasing while the RSI was decreasing. And this is actually something that we talked about on the Twitter page, where I basically just said that Binance Coin was still in this longer term uptrend against Bitcoin, but the bearish divergence on the daily chart says we might have a slowdown of this rally and hopefully we would consolidate. Now, we definitely slowed down the rally, but we haven't seen some consolidation. In fact, we've seen a pretty big breakdown where over the last few weeks we have seen from that peak on the BNB Bitcoin ratio, Binance Coin has dropped by about 21% with respect to Bitcoin. So this obviously has come off the back of losing support right around 1.6 million Satoshis. That was the November support where we held on multiple attempts. And basically we've made a lower low right now. So we're coming back down to retest the highs of October. And at this point, this is a very key level where we need to see Binance Coin start to reverse, start to make its way back up. And if we are unable to see that and we continue to break down further from here, follow through on that daily bearish divergence, then this really does pose a threat to the longer term uptrend, where basically we had this very consistent move of higher highs and higher lows. But if we're unable to continue that structure and we come back, we break down and we form more lower lows, more lower highs, then that will really start to change the structure, change the momentum that we had in the beginning of June. And it definitely leads me to believe that we might be starting to see a different trend unfold for Binance Coin with respect to Bitcoin. Certainly doesn't have to happen, and there is no confirmation yet. We still have support being held right around 1.5 million Satoshis. Again, the highs from back here in October. So I would expect buyers in demand to start to step in at this zone. And if they don't, again, if we continue to break down, we also have some more support right here in this region, right around 1.42 million Satoshis, being previous resistance throughout October on this little consolidation period. So those are the levels of support and resistance I will be watching out for. If we do see a bounce off this region from the October highs, look to see if we flip that 1.6 million Satoshi zone into resistance, again being the support throughout November. And I will remind you, this is just how Binance Coin is performing with respect to Bitcoin. So even if this continues to drop and we continue to lose support, that doesn't necessarily have to be bearish for the BNB USD pair. That could just mean that Binance Coin continues to consolidate in this longer term range. We've got from $260 all the way up to around $340. If Bitcoin were to say increase while this remains constant, that would drag this pair down. So it doesn't necessarily have to mean that Binance Coin is bearish on the USD chart. It would just mean that it has a high opportunity cost to which Bitcoin would just have a little bit more outperformance. So that does lead me into the BNB USD pair. We have this longer term range. Again, the support, the range lows around $260. That is the level where Binance Coin has retested several times over the last few months, each one holding as support. We've seen buyers step in at this zone on several attempts. You can see all of these individual events to which Binance Coin has seen bounces off this region, really just assuring us that this $260 level is a very strong level of support. Now, if we do have a breakdown of this level, then that could mean that we start to retest some of these previous zones of support, like going back here to this low in July at $220 and even back to the June lows right around $210. So those are the targets if we're unable to hold this support. However, do consider that we've bounced off this 4 times in the previous few months. So there is that definitely likely chance we do see a bounce off this zone once again and buyers continue to hold this as support. Now, the resistance is going to be the range highs at $340. That's the level we rejected at right here in May off this very significant recovery attempt back up higher. We had that move from the lows in May, right around $210, all the way up back to that region, rejection, and then continued rolling over. And then we also had the rejection right here in August, coming up to the same exact level. And then in October, we had this brief deviation where we did break out above it for just a few days before ultimately coming back right into this range and then retesting the lows. So that is going to be the resistance. We've also got the resistance at this yellow moving average. This is the 300-day SMA. This was resistance back here in April on this lower high where we had that brief move taking us up for just a few days above this moving average, ultimately coming right back under it, unable to hold it as support, and we just flipped it right into resistance. That's also the level we retested right here on this October move, so do consider that this level in confluence with the range highs will be a very strong level of resistance. The 300-day average is today right around $310, but it will be averaging down over the next few weeks, just as it has been over the last several months. You can see that downtrend very consistent here with just that downward sloping trajectory. So into the next few months, we could see that retest at a much lower valuation, considering it is averaging down pretty quickly. So I hope you guys did enjoy the content and the analysis. By the way, make sure to check out my Twitter page. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. We talk about a lot of different altcoins, a lot of charts over there, like the daily bearish divergence for the BNB Bitcoin ratio. Make sure to check out that in the link in the description below. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.